Right. We are live and yeah. Hold on, I'm just setting up a couple things here and there. Right. What up everybody? Welcome back to another Raiki Wolf live stream, and we are going to do some D&D stuff. Dungeons and Dragons. That one tabletop game that there's dice rolling. Yeah. And hold on one second. Alright, so right. Oh, that's my screen. Whoops. 1 second. There we go. There we go. Okay. If my internet can be able to fix itself. Okay, so today we are going to discuss, well, if people join, we're gonna discuss some stuff that I've been planning for a bit for my main campaign called Dragons of Valkyrie. 1 second. Let me check if it's, yep, okay, so it is here. Dragons of Valkyrie. So far, this campaign is almost at a close. I mean, the prequel version of the campaign, so let's get to it. I mean, I already know what they're gonna encounter most of the stuff. Just I've been planning yesterday and the day before that. Cause okay, so what happened during the whole storyline is they arrive in the main cities of Sindathu, and it's the same world as the one of Fate Dragon, but like it's it's the actual world and everything. Let me get to there. Sorry about that. Oh no. I don't own that music, by the way. Okay, so sorry about that. Alright, so excuse my background music there. So the world is set in Valkyrie, and don't need the copyright from Nintendo. Alright, so I know there's all this stuff right here. So they started off originally in Sindathu. So Sindathu, they were at the tavern and stuff like that. There's 5 players there. We had the rogue pirate. We had the artificer human. We had the Cambion / Tiefling warlock in there. But who else? Well, I gotta remind myself that which one are there. We had the Goliath barbarian, as well as the Dragonborn ranger, Beastmaster. Who else am I missing? He wasn't there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 5 of them, right? 5 of them. They were around and everything, and the pirate rogue is like looking for his ship because somebody stole his ship, because like that's a part of his backstory. As well as the artificer who was looking for the guy who stole all of his, blueprints for his toy factory and everything. So, and then the Cambion, of course, Cambion person was looking for someone in particular that they wanted revenge on. The Goliath wanted to be the best chieftain of all the lands and everything. So he's just there for the ride. And the ranger, of course, was he wanted something more of an adventure, because he was the heir of he's a prince from the land of Drakion. So in all due regards, they find this like one group and everything that's trying to make sure they have people to go on a sea journey to find a treasure or something like that. turns out, anyways, so they go and they asked this dude like so many questions. I forgot what they were. But yeah, so anyways, turns out that the pirate wanted to take over this guy's ship, and he did, and and he did. So he stole the ship along with the other party members, and without the dude knowing, without the other dude knowing, and he set up north. So along the way, they encountered they traveled. They encountered a couple of sea monsters, which they usually got away. And the uneventful life of in the ship and stuff. Did I also mention that the crew itself, the main crew of the other dude's crew, were still there? So, anyways, they didn't bat an eye for some reason. So the thing is that the original dude that was the original guy that had that ship, he needed to go. His ship needed to go and just ship some things in the land of Azuria. That's where Azuria is the the land of the merfolk of the sea and everything. But before that, they accidentally stumbled upon a ancient ruin. It's people from a different world and everything. They don't know this to be exact, but they know it's not out there. So they find that, and then they find, of course, the actual lore to that place and everything. Not what the people were called before. Those people were called before, but like they also find yes, I'm trying to. Okay, so they found a Stargate in there that is, if you watch Stargate, if you watch Stargate G1, you'll know what I'm talking about. But Stargate, a portal to another world, or to a set location of the universe. So, they found out a bunch of like dead skeletons where they just fight and everything. Yeah, so they fought throughout the whole map of the whole ruins and everything. And they found these big, huge, gigantic golems, guardian golems. Kind of like the one in the Disney movie, Atlantis: Lost Empire. And so they found that. There were some sort of shenanigans of the barbarian be like, hey, I want to know what this is. So he went there, and he experienced, what he experienced was, in that specific Stargate, there was a place called the Good Place, and another one that's called the Bad Place. So it's a little bit of such a everything, but then the artificer tried to go in there, and he kind of filled his roles and everything. And now the barbarian tried to basically, get him back and everything. So he did. Well, the pirate guy is like, you know what? I don't care about this dude. Like, he's like the chaotic neutral of the group. Then the ranger, of course, didn't want to go to these ruins, so he just stayed in the ship. As for the warlock, didn't want to go. So there's only the three of them. After that spiel, they found treasures. They found a slab, an ancient curse slab that I referenced to Courage Cowardly Dog. Return the slab or suffer my curse, that kind of thing, you know. So, anyways, they found out lots of lore about it, and they found the treasures. They found a lot of information and how the people got there. I think there was this big, great flood to that underground city. So, after all that, they went to their destination of where the shipment was supposed to be. So, in Isekai and a little bit of Moria. After that, they picked up another shipment. There was some shenanigans going on. That one point in was it? Let me just go ahead and. They found out the based way too early of a faction called Bloodhawks. In let's see, right about here, it's like in like. It's by the coast. So they found about that base, and the rogue pirate he's like, hey, let's just let's just blow up their base. So they bought a bunch of dynamite. they bought a lot of dynamite. Because here's the thing. They also there was an NPC there that wanted them to just be done with it, right? So they blew up their underground base. I had it prepared, by the way. And the rogue is like, nah, everybody, let's just blow up this thing up. Okay, so that's the pirates. Wait, the pirate. The rogue. The rogue, was it vampire? Half vampire, daywalker? I forgot. But anyways, the rogue, the warlock, the barbarian, and those three basically, like, let's do this, right? Except for the ranger and the art advisor, because they're good alignments, apparently. So after that spiel, they blew up the base, underground base, and everything, and basically scattered back to the ship and just left. People were like, "What is going on in the city?" So after their successful escape, they headed off back to the shores and stuff. They, of course, the artificer of the group, he's like, "What do you guys do that? These were innocent people." And then the rogue is like, "I'm doing the world a favor by like destroying filth." and he just like shakes his head. So it's like there's like a little bit of rivalry between the artificer and the pirate. The rogue, as the story progresses and everything, because of the rogue's actions of like, I'm so and so. Because he's chaotic neutral, and the artificer is neutral good. Well, the Cambion, the ranger, and the barbarian are just doing their own little side quest thing and everything. So after some time, after some encounters throughout the whole from Isekai. This is like right about right about here. It was up to here that they're in the middle and everything, and they kind of encountered a water elemental, as well as sirens in there, and random encounters with like different people. So they got through that. It was a bit difficult for them, but like I leveled them up and everything. After some time, because in the world there is in the Rock World there is about 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay, in the prequel there's 6 goddesses. So we got Earth, Fire, Water, Air. Those are the main. Those are like the elemental goddesses, and then we have the Mother Goddess Astra, Light, Order. Kind of like that thing. And then there's your Death Rebirth Goddess Morgan. And there's a seventh one, or there's 8, but like one of them was trapped in the sun. So, so there's the Chaos Goddess that wants to screw everyone over. And then there's the star sun god Theron. But he gave himself to protect everyone in Rockriddle. So he's kind of gone. Though how he protected Rockriddle was to trap Zwei in the sun. Yeah, so trap her in the sun so she won't ever be physically manifested. So anyways, it's long story short, the whole creation story and everything. So they find out that there's there's all the deities in the world and everything. They find they find other ruins right about like in the middle of the water and everything. And they go in there. They go dive down with like that diving bell and everything, and they find in those ruins. They're like it's just a small ruins thing. It's like a pillar, and they found a chest with like it's like with some sort of like elongated sword, a long sword. That kind of like has like this strange symbol on it, and the barbarian is like, "Hey, let me try this." So he did try it. So he did try it. Little did he know that the sword was the Chaos Goddess's packed sword. One of them, actually. One of them. And he rolled. I made him roll a wisdom save, and he got possessed by the essence of Zwei, in which she just she materialized. She materialized him in his head spiritually, and she's like, you know what, you're packed, you're bound to me right at this instant, right? And this whole thing of he goes back to the ship and everything. He's because like the influence of this is basically just a little murder hobo kind of thing. So he the Goliath barbarian, he's about to basically kill off the ranger of the group, and the rogue is like, I'm not having that. So he kicked the sword out of the Goliath's hands and everything. And then, which basically the Goliath just snapped out of it. So the rogue is like, drop it in the ocean. Broken it back to the ocean. And I tried doing that, came back right up. But then he's like, and they decided to just chain up the sword with some anti-magic stuff and chuck it down the ocean right about here. But so after they did that, a couple hours later, there's this ship, right? There's this ship called the dang it, let's call it I need to memorize what I got. Another pirate ship. The Bronze Wing. Yeah, the Bronze Wing. And they had a little pirate versus pirate fight. It was pretty epic. But then but basically the player ship was going to lose, right? So the rogue, to save his skin, and so to save his skin, because he was about to get kidnapped, he made a deal with the other ship captain, saying, let's do a bargain. So the bargain was, it's trade-off of a crewman, of player character, and he convinced them to take one of the PCs, and the PCs, that one moment of betrayal, and that PC was the human artificer, because he had a reason to be quote traded off. So they traded off. There was the whole betrayal thing, and now that the artificer he's traded off already. He has a big revenge note on the rogue, right? So after that kind of the party kind of split from 4 to about 3 and 1. So they left him. They left him, and they left him. I had to stray a little bit from my intention and stuff. So one ship, that ship that the original PCs have is called the Dragon, and then the one that the Artificer's in is called the Bronze Wing. So going to the Bronze Wing, the Artificer got to know these new pirates were basically part of a faction called the Onyx Ravens. So the Onyx Ravens, they're a criminal group, but they're more centered on little crimes and stuff like that. Freedom and all that. And he got to know the crew a bit and stuff like that, and he got to know Captain Egan Randall, and just for a couple days and everything, and stuff. And his ship got attacked by another faction of the Bloodhawks, the Bloodhawk faction, trying to look for the person that blew up, whoever blew up their base at Isekai. So Azuria. So they're channeling for them. Basically, there is a pirate fight going on again, and the leader of the Bloodhawks was there. He stepped off the ship. He fought the other captain. Then the artificer tried to help out that captain. Turns out that the leader of the Bloodhawks was stronger than those two combined. So there was a big standoff, a big, huge captain versus captain standoff with the help of the artificer, and it was a draw. But it was a draw. But then the captain kind of like threw his back to him, and the leader of the Bloodhawks, his name was Sean. So Sean Kyoko, that's his name. So Sean Kyoko shot him, killed off the captain, turned to the artificer. They had a little bit of a standoff, but the artificer was he was like at like about low HP, like because like the artificer had like some sort of pride going on, and he wanted to avenge the captain, So I gave him the option of, you want to fight this dude, or do you want to just yeet yourself out of the ship? Because, most of the crewmen in the background were captured and stuff like that, right, at this point. So, the player the player chose that he wanted to fight off with this one guy trying to avenge the captain of the Bronze Wing. Sure, he fought him. But he lost. And after he lost, Sean killed him. Threw him out of the ship after he died. That was a player death. And I told him, roll for another character. And he said, no. Is there another way to get my character out of this limbo? And I tell him, I gave you two options. You chose to fight him, which I respect your decision. There is a way to bring your character back, but I need you to roll for it to see if it really happened. If it really happens, if it, and he's like, because he wants his character to still live on, so he rolled for it. Was it? So in his last moments of his character, he called out to one of the goddesses, specifically because like their characters know about the deities here. So he's like he prayed to the death rebirth goddess Morgan. Those last ones in. And I made him roll a religion check. And Ollie, he nat 20'd. He nat 20, so he contacted her right away. And he talked to her. He tried to convince her. And he convinced her to give him another chance. Like a very wholehearted, of, hey, I'm not ready for the coffin yet. And then I made a charisma or persuasion check. 3 of them because, you know, goddess and everything. He failed on the charisma check once, but then succeeded twice. So I told him, or the goddess told him, that she's listening, and he made the deal to serve her as long as she finds him a body to stay in for the meantime, while he goes and tries to fulfill his mission of being a metal of man, which in translates to warforged person whose soul that's inside a animate armor. But in campaign, there is almost no such thing as that. It's just barely emerging of warforges being built and everything. So, he made a deal with her. He made a deal, and she revived him. His soul. His soul revived him because his body was out in the water and stuff like that. It just So she did, and what's this? Hello, the one Octo. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, I'm just retelling of what happened in campaign, or in my main campaign at so far. It happened so he made a deal. He made a deal, sweet and everything, and Morgan, the goddess, took him to the city of Avalon in Chiron, which is basically the elven, part of the world and everything. The elves, dwarves, a little bit of dwarves, furbogs, basically true, like nature, everything on there. Earth stuff, like earth elementals and stuff like that. So he went to the elven city of Avalon, right? And I'm gonna pause that part there. Going back to the ship of the dragon, which is the other 4 NPCs, PCs. They let me not be high since I'm in the car. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. I mean, sometimes my internet's laggy. Some people's internet's laggy. So we went back to the dragon. They had a couple more sea, couple more sea events that's happening and everything, like strange whirlpools nearby and other elementals, and they almost encountered a dragon turtle, and a couple more sirens. So they finally reach. So the players in the dragon, the ship dragon, they arrive at Veras, which is in Jout, where where their next shipment was. So they went and dropped it off. There were some events in there too. There was like basically a faction war going on in there and stuff, as well as of course it's the Goliath's home, homeland, right? The land of the Goliaths, right? The Injout. So they had a couple bar fights, and then there was this that's when the ranger had to like the player itself that the player had to like leave the campaign and stuff. So that's when I kind of like dropped off the dragonborn ranger there just to have his way back to the to his homeland and stuff like that. So yeah, so there was a clan war that they had to like the somehow kind of fix, but they kind of didn't a little bit. But they did find out where so there's a war between the factions of Iron Outlanders and the Onyx Ravens. So they found out their headquarters, marked it on the map. At the same time, this is all happening like a lot, like this is like happening like at the same time. But then the Goliath accidentally found the female equivalent to Cthulhu. Just they found her. Well, actually, yeah. So, well, while they were in, well, after they after they left for us, the Goliath was taken by the female version of Cthulhu or Thula. um because they accidentally like encountered her and stuff. Um so yeah, so they had to go and try to sneak the Goliath barbarian out of Thula's house and stuff. So they did. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go to go to the next." Okay, moving on, right? Moving on. So their next shipment, while their next shipments for like the cargo and stuff, was in Lorelin. So they're as they're going to Lorelin, they encountered two ghost ships. One of them was with mind flares. One with mind flares, and the other one was basically they're like, oh nope. So they like up what's the word? They avoided the red ship, the red floating ship. The green floating ship was the one with the mind flares. And then while they're on their way there, strange things started to happen in the ship. Like they find out that one of the NPC crewmates was part of one of these factions and stuff, and was a spy. So they threw them out of the ship. They threw them out of the ship. They threw them out of the ship. They're like, "Oh, traitor!" Yeet. So like after after that, there was like nothing eventful in the ship and everything. Just like on that. They did have some sea events as well. Anyways, going to Lorelin. They're going to Lorelin in Caron. They finally, after days of sea travel. So after sea travel, they park their ship in Lorelin. City of Elves. Imagine like the Emerald City in in Wizard of Oz, except with elves, and it's all magical. So there's that. What else? Okay, so they've been staying here for a while and everything. It's like one of the recent ones that just just out there. Anyways, meanwhile with the one at the artificer soul in Avalon, they his soul finds a nearby scarecrow to possess. So he did that. He's scarecrow. He was a scarecrow, and he travels to Laurelin. Okay, that's the closest city out there. He travels to Laurelin as the dragon ship just starts to disembark there, and he recognizes the rogue there that's just like going on there and everything, and he's like, nope, I am not gonna go in that ship ever again. Right. And so he tries finding a close friend that he has. Well, basically, at this point, I had the PCs create another character just to switch to or to from and everything. So that's just fun with two characters. So he finds his Minotaur friend in the city, just and stuff like that. They had lots of adventures in this city. A lot of them. They found out. Okay, so they found out more about the other factions: Crimson Moons, the Emerald Lions, and the and more on the Bloodhawks. Right. Right, yeah, and the Cobalt Suns as well. The Cobalt Suns. So Emerald Lions, Crimson Moons, the Cobalt Suns, and the Bloodhawks. They all they have so they have missions such as the escort some merchants out there, get rid of some bandits. They some book find that they still need to get to. And then there's this wanted poster from the Queen about getting just getting rid of the Cobalt Suns, which is basically one of the baddest factions out there that is trying to basically be jerks at people and just rob and kill and steal and all that. Basically, an evil faction, a more evil faction than the other ones. They also did they almost went and did a fetch quest dealing with a dragon and just to grab its scales and send it to one of the quest masters just to grab some armor and a sword. What else is there? What else? They met lots of villains. They met lots of villains like such as the Oh right. Right. That's when another player joined. With two of their characters as well. One of that player's characters his name is Nicholas. He is a fighter. A fighter. What's that one? Arcane archer. And the other one is a little dragonborn monk. So that's when his characters were introduced. Well, they were so the players were invited to this big heroic feast because of what all of their quests were done and everything, and like helping out with the little people and all that cool thing. So they had a feast and everything. They had a feast, dancing and everything. Which introduced the other PCs' characters. So we have the primary ones. All right. Before that, the Goliath died. In those missions, so he pretty much died. So the person had to create another character. So that's the character. So we have all right. So we got the rogue swashbuckler Bastion. We have I already introduced Nicholas and little dragonborn girl Ryu. And then there's the player that had their Goliath already, that died already. Was is now a Tabaxi Bard. All right, 1 second. Give me a second. I'm getting a call really quick. Hold on. I am back again. All right. So where was I? Right. Me telling a story, long-winded. I'm trying to summarize all of this. But yeah. So okay. So with the feast, sure. Right. The feast. So the queen invites them to the feast and everything. Of course, so they prepare, and it's a little bit of a form of gratitude for the party members, just to heroic people all gathered and stuff, doing good deeds and stuff. And that dinner is followed by dancing and cheering and music, entertainment. Like everything's going smoothly for the characters. Everything's going smoothly for the characters. Bonds are more bonds are forged, and you know, and what have you. After a few bit and everything, they one of the like, ballrooms uh walls just burst out in an explosion. Some people die. Some people, well, citizens, most of the citizens die and everything. And in comes in, there comes in the leader of the Bloodhawks, Sean Kinu, um, Kyoko. He walks in with his men and a couple creatures in suit, and he's like, "We're here to take the whole kingdom." And then he kind of points the gun at the queen. But in time, the Dragonborn Ranger, was it no, not the Dragonborn Ranger. Sorry, the Nicholas, the fighter, arcane archer. He's like, "Not today!" and shot and shot arrow at the guy's hand, right, knocking off the crossbow out of his hands, and that's when initiative started. So they had this fights and stuff, and while this fight is going on, the rogue and the half elven sorcerers, which is Killian, they immediately surround the queen, take her away from this fight, and a big fight ensues and everything. A lot of deaths incurred and everything. Sean brought with him a strange caster guy with the book and everything, along with a little surprise I kind of like winked at from an NPC that I have. So Sean, he's this caster, and there's this other bad guy called Melchior, and that's one of my NPC's bad guys. He's there. He's there. He's there, and he's just like he's with these guys, and yeah, so they fight. So they get so what Sean brought with them was like skeletal like zombies kind of things and everything, basically like the undead. So after the fight, after Sean's taken out, and as well the caster guy that has a lot of like plot stuff on him is defeated, and of course Malchior after he vanished and escaped, they basically look at the bodies that they met and everything. Some of the NPCs start to clean up and everything. And at this point, it's when the guards is like they show up really late. The one point where it's just like the guards like come in late when the police come late. that kind of scenario going on. So the guardsmen they come in late. They were probably cycling on the job or whatever. So, anyways, as this whole thing is going and everything, so Nicholas, the party finds all of the loot and everything on these guys. the Dragon War monk was looking at him and looking at the things, and found an orb of dragonkind on this caster's person. So the player is like, I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep this. And then man, I'm like, I hope I know what they're gonna do with this. So they found an orb of dragonkind, as well as a what's it call it? It's a necromancy book. As well as a couple of coin on them, and some sort of it's like this totem, this totem, and like this emblem of Zwei. And they find out that there's this cult ensuing of the Chaos Goddess, growing more and more stronger. And so they decide to try to break the totem, break the emblem itself, and try to find out what's inside that necromancy book. Of course, they found out that it was a bunch of necromancy spells. So yeah. So they sold that instead. They sold that. They sold it. They sold it later. They kept it. They sold it later. But the monk girl, the monk dragonborn girl, took the orb of dragonkind. Like, just kind of like, sleight of hand. They just put it on her pocket and everything. And she was. Anyways, after that, there was a cleanup crew. The queen, saying thank you for, helping me out here with this and stuff, and she gave them the reward and stuff like that. And they were talking to them and everything, and she called them heroes again. So after that, they kind of like, she gave them a room to stay, to like long rest and everything. During this rest, each of them are in the rooms and everything, and the dragonborn monk girl took out the orb of dragonkind in her room, in the room and everything, and basically activated what the orb was. So I made the player roll. They nat 1 on almost everything. And now the orb got the monk charmed. So the orb tells her to go, and that he needs sacrifices. So it needs sacrifices of lives. So the monk girl, being charmed by this, did exactly that. And the thing is, I made them roll a wisdom save to see if they were able to remember what they did before. But let's say that like, they rolled off 6 on it, and I'm like, so you knock out, you everything blacks out, and then the next morning, she's somewhere else, completely not in Lorelin, and wakes up with a lot of bodies around, gore and everything. I told the player what happened and stuff, and now the character themselves are in this existential crisis. and starts running, just running, trying to basically a little like emotionally scarred from that. Until she finally sets herself or finds a cave with no people and everything called Mount Yomi in Thezia. That's in this cave, and she's secluding herself until like she'd be able to actually get rid of this thing. She met a little motherly goblin on the way. But that's it. That's it for that one. And now she's over there. She's far away from the group now. And after all of that, so anyways, the artificer finally finds someone that'd be able to help him with his with finding a Warforged body to be in, right? To have all these modifications and everything. And so he finds a blacksmith. Says, well, first he kind of demanded, yo, can you make me this armored an armored body? And then the blacksmith is like, which is one of the central NPCs there. He's like, yeah, but that's gonna cost you. What? He's like, how much? And it's like, so and so. Also, so then this blacksmith is named Clayne Ironhammer, and he's one of the key NPCs. So he's like, oh yes, if you can give me coin, that'll be great, right? Oh, I just switched over to that accent. Sorry, thinking about him, thinking about this character's. Okay. I switched to Scottish or Irish there. So there's that. How long has it been? An hour? Yeah, it's been an hour. Okay. I'm actually. Let me get some water because I'm actually parched. I've been oops. I've been talking a lot. Hold on, one second. Okay, I'm here. Let me just grab this right here and just go ahead and pause it there. Ooh, that. This is brought to you by Water ASMR. No, just kidding. I don't like ASMR at all. So, give me a second. Okay. Alright. Okay, so. Oh, dang, an hour and something. Okay, I know I'm gonna, like, start. Okay, so I'm gonna start speeding up my narration right now. Which is basically almost to the point where it's current events. So, anyways, so Artificer finds another Artificer that's unique. A tiefling woman named Tamara, Emerald Demon, and he finds out that the Tamara is the daughter of the one of the greatest wizards in the land, um Oswald Emerald. So so um so he goes find Tamara, asks around and everything. He finds her, um basically arriving into Lorelin, along with the other secondary characters that came from this town called Isengard, in Caron. So um so with the all right, at this point the Goliath, the Goliath person, PC, wasn't there, died and everything. um to to introduce the Bard character. Yeah, so there he meets her, trying to get to know her a little bit more, and Tamara is, according to the NPC that I made, she's very straightforward. She's like, "Aye, what do you want?" That kind of thing. So she's like, "Oh, you're asking me for favors when we first met," that kind of thing. So yeah, she gets to know her. Finds out that she's an artificer, as well as a person that likes to build flamethrowers and explosive crap. Yeah, so it's this whole spiel of, get to that whole montage of get to know this person and everything more closer. He accidentally finds out that, well, the party finds out that she accidentally, well, actually no, she has this sleeping curse. They accidentally, found out she had a sleeping curse. Um, Basically, what the sleeping curse is, she gets to sleep at random without her knowing. Yeah, kind of like Sleepy Beauty a little bit. Yeah, yeah, it's like, nodding off again, and then she wakes up a couple hours later, like, oh, damn it, right? Right. So the rest of the group doing their own thing in there. It's been in game. It's been about a month. Who's there? Who's at my door? Hold on, 1 second. Good. Yeah. Okay. This is